So, frogs, how you feeling? Stupid?
We're not frogs. We're toads.
The Battletoads.
We're famous.
Yo, the fact that Battletoads came back really blew my mind. I'll be honest and say that I never cared for the NES version of the Battletoads series, but I did really have a lot of fun playing the Super Nintendo version of the game, Battletoads and Battlemaniacs. I was very interested to see what Rare would do with the franchise, and the early trailers we saw looked very promising. I've now spent a good while playing the game and so far had a really fantastic time. Seriously, this is probably going to make my top 10 list of the year. However, as good as the game is, Battletoads definitely has a few things that made me want to pull my hair out, and those are what I want to share with you in this video today. I must say though, even with these annoyances, Battletoads is definitely still worth checking out.
Hey! Someone threw a piece of trash out of that ship!
5 things we hate in cyberhood. Number 1.
No freaking way we're turning around!
In Battletoads, there is a section in the game where you have to fix a spaceship, and to do this, you have to play all of these mini games. These range from rapidly pressing A, changing the size of these hexagons, pressing a button at the same time, and so on. Now, whilst this might sound easy, and the first few levels is pretty much straightforward, there are a couple of the game where the game doesn't actually explain to you how to actually play them. One in particular did really put me over the edge, and I had to keep redoing it, and I did it by dumb luck. The fact that it makes you do this more than once really made me really hate this section of the game. The worst part is that it keeps mixing it up, so every time you actually fail this level, it keeps changing the order of which mini games you play, so you actually never really get into a rhythm to play the games. Trust me, after getting past this level, I was nearly doing cartwheels around my living room.
Number 2.
For a beat-em-up style game, Battletoads has a ton of variety in the gameplay. For me personally, the beat-em-up levels are not as frequent as I personally would have liked them to have been, and I just think 2 more beat-em-up style levels would have definitely made a ton of difference. I know it's a bit harsh to criticize the game for having too much variety, but I just feel I personally was expecting a little bit more on the beat-em-up side of things.
Number 3.
Remember, fellas, these turbo bikes are rentals. You know what that means?
Thankfully, the Hoverbite section in the new Battletoads game is nowhere near as frustrating as it was in the original. As a matter of fact, if you get used to using LB and RB to move left and right instead of the analog stick, you probably will find that it's a little bit more straightforward. But with all that being said, in my personal opinion, the Hoverbite section lasts way too long and they do become a little bit boring after a while. I think at half the length, these stages would have definitely been pretty fun and really exciting to play.
All sorts of lies about you until you return my bikes. This is my business model. He sounds pretty annoyed.
Number 4.
Well, that was easy.
I suppose we could stop there.
More targets!
Now, keeping it real, there are so many frustrating levels throughout Battletoads, but I will say for me personally, these 3 levels in particular in the third act of the game definitely took the trophy. First up was Space Sprawl, which was a nightmare in itself, but when I did get to the boss Dirtbag, I couldn't believe the pain I felt. It took me close to 3 hours to actually get past this one section of the level, and there was a point where I nearly gave up gaming as I just thought I was not good enough to beat this level. But after surviving that frustrating and beating Dirtbag, I was shocked that there was another spaceship shooting level called Street Justice. I'll go as far to say that Street Justice is probably the most difficult out of the 3 Space Invader type levels, as this level in itself was a nightmare. I even went as far to seeing if there was any solutions on YouTube to see if anyone's actually mastered it and had any tips and tricks, and every video that I actually came across was just people playing it on easy, which was no help to me. After all of the time that I spent playing this in the first level, I did actually kind of get used to playing these Space Invader levels, but it still wasn't a walk in the park. The third level wasn't as bad as the first 2, but it still had me going crazy. Some of you watching probably didn't have any problems with these particular levels, but I just couldn't wrap my head around the shooting with the analog stick, dodging with RT, and navigating the ship away from 100 enemies on the screen. To me, this was definitely one of the most frustrating parts of the game.
Number 5.
Now we can fly!
The universe revolves around the Battletoads!
When it was initially announced that Battletoads was coming to Game Pass, me and a few friends was over the moon of the possibility to play this game online, especially based on all the fun that we've experienced playing these particular games on the Super Nintendo back in the days. The only catch for us though was that we would need to be in the same house to play together. In 2020, I personally think it's criminal not to be able to play these type of games online. I think that this is definitely one feature that would have added more depth, replayability and longevity to the overall experience of the game. All in all, whilst there are so many frustrating moments in Battletoads, I absolutely love this game. I think visually it looks amazing, the cutscenes and the voice acting is on point, the story is definitely entertaining, plus the overall gameplay is fun and exciting. For those who have Game Pass, I would definitely suggest picking this game up or downloading it, and if you don't actually have Game Pass, I still think this game is definitely worth buying. Anyway peeps, do let me know your thoughts in the comments below of whether you've played Battletoads on the Xbox One yet, or whether you're thinking about getting it. Let me know what you think about some of my critique, whether you agree or disagree, and we definitely will chop it up below.
Each other.
I did a bad thing.
Hit that like and subscribe button for more dope Cyberhood videos.